professors this weekend. We'll explain. Then an update to the deadly home explosion in Washington. Officials say the father calculated the murder-suicide. Then in sports, a clash between two of the country's top-rated junior college basketball teams takes place tonight at VU. News Center 22 starts now.
Local news, weather, and sports, produced through the combined efforts of the students, staff, and faculty of Vincennes University's electronic media program. This is News Center 22.
Vincennes University is mourning the death of one of its own. Good evening for News Center 22. I'm Jesse Gwynn. Professor Larry Stearns died this past Saturday at the age of 56. Stearns has served as program chair and professor at the paralegal department since 1982. He received his associate in arts degree from VU, his Bachelor of Science degree from Indiana State University, and his Doctor of Jurisprudence from Indiana University in 1981. Stearns enjoyed spending his extra time researching genealogy at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where he served in various positions. Visitation will be held on Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. at Goodwin Funeral Home in Vincennes. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. Friday at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Toyota Manufacturing of Indiana will be making a big announcement tomorrow in a press release. TMMI officials say the significant production announcement will have a positive economic impact for the region. The announcement is scheduled for 1 p.m. Central Time tomorrow during a press conference. Personnel with the Army Corps of Engineers are in Vincennes evaluating the levee system. Engineers and staff with the Corps arrived in town on Monday to begin the long-awaited process, which hopefully will allow the city to retain its flood-protected status. Engineer with the Corps, Dan Frank, says they will be inspecting the levee throughout the week.
We will be detailing the condition of the project and identifying those areas that will need to be improved. And they'll be looking at many facets of the levee system for the Vincennes levee and in conjunction with a certain portion of the Brevoort levee system too.
Once the inspection work is completed, the engineers will spend the next several months going over their findings before giving their final report on the levee system. The $430,000 evaluation was paid for with funds provided by Vincennes University, Good Samaritan Hospital, KCDC, and the Vincennes Housing Authority. The 6th annual Festival du Mardi Gras in Vincennes is just a little more than a week away, and one of the event's featured guests made a trip to Flagey Elementary on Monday to share his passion for French Creole music with students and News Center 22's very own Tony Cloyd.
Dennis Stromat, who grew up not far from Vincennes, was always interested in the city's French culture. As he grew to adulthood, Dennis wanted to learn more about the language and the music, so he traveled to southwestern Illinois and southeast Missouri, where those cultures and traditions live on to this very day. Now he's attempting to get others to reconnect with the music through presentations like the one he put on for students at Flagey.
For a lot of kids who don't get an opportunity to hear or learn any other kind of language, this was the language that's here. I mean, this was a language that was here in Vincennes at one time and is still actively used just 3 hours away from here, you know, by French-speaking Creoles, people who are related to the French here. And the language can live again here.
Stromat says the music tells the story of this area, which at one time included over 10,000 French-speaking inhabitants in Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri. Cedric Schleiss is a 4th grader at Flagey, and unlike his classmates, is a little more familiar with the language.
My dad has taught me it because he was born in France. He was born in Valchide, which I'm pretty sure is in northern France.
Stromat was able to teach the students a few words in French that enabled them to participate in a few songs after some coaxing.
I liked it.
Did you?
I play the piano and I sometimes sing along, and Alouette was one of the songs.
How it was like how you can sing along to it, and it was really fun.
Stromat will be returning to Vincennes next week to put on a program at the Fortnightly Club Friday night. His appearance is being sponsored by Vincennes First Families as part of the city's Festival du Mardi Gras activities February 17th and 18th. Reporting for News Center 22, I'm Tony Cloy.
Stromat's performance at the Festival du Mardi Gras gets underway Friday the 17th at 6:30. Other festivities continue on Saturday the 18th starting at 5 p.m. Tickets are $15 for both nights or $10 for one night. Children under 12 are free. Republican Congressman Mike Pence is the first candidate for governor to get his name on the ballot. Pence led a brigade of supporters in carrying 92 boxes, one for each county, into the Indiana Election Division office Monday. He boasts he collected nearly triple the required 4,500 signatures. Pence says he plans a positive, issue-oriented campaign, but says he'll hold off rolling out detailed platform planks until after the legislature adjourns March 14th. Republican Jim Wallace and Democrat John Gregg have also announced they're running. A judge has ordered the state to give House Democrats back the money they were docked for last year's 5-week walkout. Marion Superior Judge David Dreyer says he's not challenging the legislature's right to fine its members, but he says the General Assembly does have the right to abide by the same wage payment statute as any other employer. The law says you can't subtract fines or anything else from an employee's paycheck without prior written consent. Dreyer says House Republicans need a court order to enforce both last year's fines and this year's. Dreyer notes the Supreme Court has already said it will hear the case. And still to come on News Center 22, details have emerged into what led a father to kill himself and his 2 young boys. We'll have the tragic update. And rescuers are desperately searching for almost 100 missing people after a deadly earthquake yesterday in the Philippines. We'll have the details right after this. Stay with us.
Twin girls joined at the head with little chance for survival.
One of them was dying of heart failure, and the other one would have then died shortly thereafter.
Nova documents the journey to free them from each other, save their lives, and make medical history.
Are you looking for your sister? She's there.
If these kids can lead normal lives, that's the whole idea.
Separating twins.
Coming up this week on WVUT's 22 magazine. It may still be winter, but many area residents are thinking about the future of Rainbow Beach and Vincennes. Park Superintendent Steve Beeman will preview an important meeting concerning the pool. Then, to celebrate President Lincoln's February birthday, the organizers at the Lincoln Amphitheater in Spencer County are spreading the word about their upcoming season. Find out how you can get involved on the next 22 magazine Saturday night at 7:30.
It appears a father in Washington state used a hatchet to kill his 2 boys, then set a fire in his house and killed himself. Police say this last act by Josh Powell only adds to the suspicion that he killed his wife in 2009. Tommy Andres has more on this murder-suicide investigation and why family members say they knew it would happen.
A selfish, cowardly act in my mind, just a slaughter of 2 innocent children.
It's the Cox family's greatest fear realized. Their missing daughter's husband now accused of killing his 2 boys and himself. Police say it happened in Josh Powell's Seattle area home on Sunday afternoon. The boys, 5-year-old Braden and 7-year-old Charlie, at their father's house for a scheduled visit. Once inside, police say Powell used a hatchet on the kids. The medical examiner's office says both boys had neck injuries before dying of carbon monoxide poisoning. The home doused with gasoline and set ablaze. Police say it was a deliberate act.
He'd taken boxes of toys and books and donated them to the Goodwill sometime over the weekend. So this is definitely a deliberate, planned out event.
The boy's mother, Susan Cox Powell, disappeared in 2009. Her husband, Josh, was a prime suspect. Last week, a judge ruled that the boys should remain with Susan's parents. Susan's sister said that decision and a recent change in the boys may have pushed Powell over the edge.
How they were being closer to us and shutting down on him, and the way they were opening up to my family. He was losing control. He had to get it back somehow.
Police say Powell sent emails to his pastor and others close to him just minutes before the fire, telling them what to do after he died. I'm Tommy Andres reporting.
Police investigating Susan Cox Powell's disappearance believe she is dead, but vow to continue pursuing the case. Her family says the boys were starting to say things like, "Mommy is in the mine." According to investigators, Powell had said the last time he saw his wife was the night he and his sons left to go camping. The death toll has risen in the Philippines after an earthquake struck there Monday. Officials say 48 people have died as a result of the 6.7 magnitude earthquake that struck just before noon local time yesterday. The Philippines news agency is reporting that another 92 people are missing as the nation's military scrambled 1,000 government troops to deal with the disaster. The USGS reports that at least 8 aftershocks ranging from magnitude 4.6 to 6.0 have rattled through the area today. The Philippines is situated in the so-called Ring of Fire, an arc of fault lines circling the Pacific Basin that is prone to frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. More than 40 states have agreed to a nationwide settlement over foreclosure practices. Federal and state officials have been in discussion with the nation's 5 biggest banks for nearly a year. They include Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Ally Financial. The deal would force the lenders to reduce loans for 1 million U.S. households behind on their payments and underwater on their mortgages. The money available to homeowners could run as high as $25 billion if all 50 states approve the deal. Several key states, including California, New York, Nevada, Florida, and Delaware, remain undecided. Facebook's founder Mark Zuckerberg's decision to go public could cost him big. The social network website's upcoming IPO will make Zuckerberg a billionaire. But it will also stick with an eye-popping tax bill that could reach as high as $2 billion. That's because Zuckerberg wants to significantly increase ownership in the company and plans to buy 120 million shares at a bargain price of 6 cents a pop. And he'll have to pay taxes on the difference between what the stock cost him and what it's actually worth. Facebook says he'll likely sell just enough of his shares to cover the massive tax bill. February is National Children's Dental Health Month. The American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry says the U.S. has a dental crisis. 25 to 30% of American children between the ages of 2 and 5 already have dental decay. That's because many don't see a dentist until there's a problem. Here's Paul Chambers with today's Health Minute.
Want your children to have strong teeth? Dentists say in order to start a child off with good dental health, parents need to get their little ones to a dentist at an early age, as soon as the first tooth is showing. That includes checkups as well as teaching children proper brushing and flossing before they get their adult teeth, even if a parent helps out. Doctors say a lot of times children need help when it comes to flossing. Good ways to avoid decay? Watch sugary foods. Give sweets after meals, not as snacks. For munchies, replace sweets with fruits or veggie sticks. And limit potato chips and pretzels. They can stick to teeth. The carbohydrates and the starches in the snacks break down into simple sugars and cause decay. And limit giving a baby juice or milk in a bottle or sippy cup because it exposes baby teeth to sugary liquids for longer periods of time. Dentists also recommend fluoride toothpaste, but don't overdo it. Too much can cause white specks on the teeth. All good tips for a young, healthy smile. For today's Health Minute, I'm Paul Chambers.
Well, it almost feels like winter outside this week. Danny Taborn is in now to let us know if that chance for snow is still in the forecast. Danny?
It sure is, Jesse, and tonight we could see a mixture of rain and snow with flurries still possible throughout tomorrow morning. I'll have your complete forecast coming up right after this.
I think raccoons are a perfect match for cities. Wherever they've been introduced, they do really, really well. raccoons build on their knowledge. Once they figure out one garbage can, they can generalize to another that might be different.
It's possible that moving into the urban environments is creating technically smarter raccoons.